Welcome to the Savvy Giving Gal podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Turilli-Smith, and I couldn't be more thrilled to kick off a brand new series, The Savvy Spotlight. We're turning the spotlight on some of the most inspiring changemakers in our communities, our incredible stay-at-home moms. These remarkable women are not just nurturing the next generation of givers, they're weaving strength and love and grace into the fabric of our future while juggling a whirlwind of responsibilities. Join me as we dive into their unique stories, uncover their individual wisdom, and celebrate the profound impact they have on their families and communities every single day. These are the voices that often go unheard, and it's time to recognize the true significance of their essential roles. So let's embark on this adventure together. Get ready to be inspired by their journeys and discover the wealth of knowledge we can all gain from their experiences. Tune in and let's shine a light on these extraordinary women. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to have Julianna Cavalli on the podcast. She is, without a doubt, one of the most inspiring women I know. Julianna truly does it all. She's a stay-at-home mom to two amazing kids, a loving wife, a cancer survivor, a generous giver, and a loyal friend. In addition to these roles, Julianna takes on countless responsibilities that often go unnoticed, but are essential to her family's well-being. Household manager, chef, teacher, emotional support provider, conflict mediator, community volunteer, life coach, advocate for her kids, and so much more. Julianna is a role model for her children and is raising the next generation of community changemakers. Welcome to the show, Julianna Cavalli.
Thank you. And thank you for the wonderful intro. And I'm so excited to be here. I just have to say, I remember you telling me about doing the show, and now here we are, and I'm on the show. It's surreal.
So excited.
It's exciting.
I love this first full circle moment for sure. This episode is so incredibly important to me because for the past 15 years, I've also been in the role of stay-at-home mom. Alongside my work with Party and Kindness, my primary role has been caring for my family. It was a choice that I made and one I cherish every day. But I'll admit it's taken me probably like 15 years to truly embrace and fully own this role. I know this transition can be difficult, especially for women who are once financially independent and highly educated. The shift from being a professional and have professional identity to stay-at-home mom can feel kind of like a loss of self sometimes. But I believe this role holds immense value and purpose. So today, we'll dive into Julianna's journey and explore the beauty and challenges and fulfillment that comes with being a stay-at-home mom. I hope her story and this conversation encourages women everywhere to honor and celebrate the role that this transformative power position truly, truly is. So Julianna, I'm so excited you're here today.
Thank you.
You wear so many hats in your daily life, as I mentioned, caregiver, household manager, and so much more. How do you define success in this role?
Well, success is kind of what you make of it. But I think initially success is you come home from the hospital and you keep the baby alive.
Yes.
So that is success on a daily basis because I went to school, I went to college. If I could toot my own horn, I was 12 years in finance. I was vice president. Thought I was pretty cool. And then I got home, and the most humbling job and the most rewarding is being a mom. Mm-hmm. But you don't know what you're doing, and there's no rule book for that. So I think it was a learning curve. You're also working with your husband. It's the new baby. It's just survival in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But now as my kids are getting older, I think success is I'm kind of evaluating like what's important. Mm-hmm. And I could give you like a list of do this, do that. But I think every mom has their way of doing things. Mm-hmm. And if I look back to my childhood, we didn't have a lot. And I used to be like, I want this. I wish I had that. My friends have this. But the one thing that was consistent was like love and support. Mm-hmm. And now as an adult and as a mom, I think about, is it the most important thing that they get the best grades and go to the best colleges and all that. No, it's, am I providing support and guidance and leadership and love and a place that when they come home from school or come home from wherever, they feel that. And I felt that as a kid, even though they weren't perfect parents. So stop trying to be perfect and just do the best you can, survive, and teach them things. And like what you do, like, you know, teach them to give back, teach them to be good humans.
I love that message of really focusing on unconditional love, because I do think that being a mother is so difficult and it is such a learning curve, especially in the beginning when you are there alone all day with your baby and everything is changing and your life is changing, you know? So when I first decided to be a stay-at-home mom, it was a struggle to try to find my worth when I wasn't getting a paycheck. You know, I think that can be really hard. And over time, you know, I've learned that my value is so much more than the money that I bring home. What advice would you give women who feel the same, especially when they're transitioning from a career in finance? I was in sales, you know, careers where you're respected and making a lot of money, to being at home with your baby.
Yeah. I think the advice I would give is be your own boss.
Yeah.
And now, like, if you've always wanted to run a company, now's your chance. I consider myself the CEO of my house. And it took me a while to get to that mentality because I was like sometimes not leaving the house. I had puke all over me. The baby's screaming. You know, I didn't feel like a boss. But now at this stage, like I can tell younger moms or moms that are struggling, act as if you're your own CEO, run your house the way you would run. Okay, it's not a business, but like you have to function. You got to get up, you got to make them food, you got to keep them alive, keep your husband happy to some extent. He's got to keep me happy.
That's right.
So I'm the CEO. I don't work, but I work in the sense that like I provide love and caring and keep the family together. And my husband's like the revenue generator. So he brings home the bacon and I do pretty much everything else. And he knows that. So I think we work as a team, and it's nice because he'll say, oh, ask my wife. Like if it's not work related, ask my wife. So I try to think of it like that because, you know, these moments are fleeting. They're going to be older soon. And, you know, I'll have to like figure out what I want to be when I grow up. But like right now, this is like my world. And like I'm trying to do the best I can.
Yeah. And totally embracing that role like you have and making it like a business or the CEO of your home. In the beginning, I don't think that you see the benefits. Just like when you're starting a company, you know, it takes a lot of time to grow.
Exactly.
But then now that our kids are teenagers, Julianna and I have very similar age children, you really do see the fruits of all of that labor when they're out in the world and someone says, you know, Noah just came right up to me and shook my hand, or Noah was a really good, you know, support system for my kid. And it's the same. You have beautiful, such well-adjusted givers. And they're the same way. I mean, I'm so proud of them. They're so polite and loving, and all that really comes from your husband too. But you've worked really hard to provide that love and stability for them so that they can become these beautiful change makers in the community. And I really, you know, honor that and have to keep focusing that on in my own life.
If I could just say, I remember you're like, oh, my son's driving me crazy or whatever. I'm like, really? Because he comes to my house and he's like, hello, Mrs. Cavalli. How can I hold the door open, Miss Cavalli? So I'm like, you're doing something right. And that's the greatest compliment, is when you might be struggling at home with your kid, but then someone's like, they did this for a kid, or they were polite to me, you know, and please and thank you. Just the basic human kindness. And your kids do that as well.
Thank you. And I would, you know, suggest to all the stay-at-home moms out there that just keep reinforcing all those things. When they're little, you feel like they're never going to do the right thing. I mean, you feel like at every turn you have to mother them and teach them, and you just think it's futile sometimes, but it really is the greatest job and the most valuable area you can put your time and energy into is your children.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say that that's what I found in my own life. It's funny because my brother always says, pick your heart. He always says that to me when I'm complaining or talking about something. And it reminds me both of like the stay-at-home moms and working moms, and both have challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Being a working mom has its challenges, and being a stay-at-home mom has its challenges. How do you think you've maintained a sense of identity during, this time that you've dedicated pretty much your whole life to your kids and your family?
Right. Well, I love that expression, pick your heart, because first of all, I get to pick my heart, which I know a lot of women don't get to do. So I get to be a stay-at-home mom. We made that decision when we got married. Like, I'm going to stop working because I didn't really see how, I had to be in at 6 and I was out in dinners and all that stuff. But like, I think that the fact that I get to pick and I get to stay home now for this part of their life it's a hard, but it's a good hard. And it's so much more rewarding than like before making rich people richer. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm raising future, good citizens. So as far as keeping my identity, knowing, give yourself some like slack, like you're going to have good days and bad days. It's not like every day is perfect, but, and then carving out some like time for yourself. I think when I started getting more organized, because I remember asking someone, how do you do it? And she's like, you have to be really organized. And I was like, because I thought I was organized, but then you have kids and they like throw everything out the window. So when I started planning my weeks and I was like, planning my workouts, planning everything, planning your showers, like planning everything. It makes your life easier. And then now I just like carve out some time for myself. I just started taking golf lessons. I like learning every day. I still keep some of my finance stuff. Like I watch the stock market daily. I like to invest. There's ways that you can keep parts of yourself and still be a mom. Like I still like play with my kids. Like, okay, don't tell anyone, but like we just like we love hanging out and doing stuff together.
Right.
So, but like you can have the best of both worlds.
Yes. And I think it is such a gift and such a blessing. I agree. Like I think every day how grateful I feel that I had the choice at that time to stay home with my kids, a choice I made fully and willingly and wanted to do that. And that doesn't detract from how hard that is, and I think that I keep that at my core all the time. And then you're right, if partying kindness was that little piece of me during this time that I was home not earning a paycheck, that I could fully embrace the giver that I wanted to be in the world. And I could involve my kids in it too. Yeah. I mean, sharing.
You've gotten my kids in it. And I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah. And sharing those gifts you have with your kids is a great thing. They see you doing all of that and know that you were once and still are a very capable, independent woman.
Yes, I have to remind them that.
Yeah. We all do. We all do. One of my secret loves is skincare. I absolutely cherish the 20 minutes of quiet time I have in the morning when my kids are still asleep and my husband leaves for work. I wash my face and apply my skincare while listening to podcasts, music, mantras, and sometimes just in silence. It is the little bit of me time before the hectic day starts. eCosmetics offers the best in beauty from the biggest names in beauty, all in one place. They have great prices, exceptional service, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. I love being able to find my favorites all in one place. Something that is also super important to me is when I shop brands that I buy from a brand that believes in helping others and impacting communities. eCosmetics participates in charitable efforts through the platform Good Shop, where a portion of the purchases made through their site contributes to various causes. This allows customers to support charities while shopping for beauty products. If you are looking for a one-stop shop for all of your beauty needs, you should check out eCosmetics. Use my code SAVVY25, that's SAVVY25 at checkout for 25% off. I'll also provide links in the show notes. So I want to go to kind of a serious topic for a second. You know, you're a breast cancer survivor and you battled this illness while your children were really small. I want to talk about how this experience shaped your approach to motherhood and really your family life in general.
Gosh, it did so much. I know it's such an awful thing to go through. However, it ended up being such a life-changing, I don't know how to say good thing, because it made me really appreciate my time with my kids even more. So anytime I was like, I'm not cut out for this. When you think that maybe, because my kids were like 2 and 3, we had just moved here from San Francisco. I didn't know anyone. And I was 40, got my first mammogram, and bam. And just so you know, segueing, my daughter had just had, at 1 years old, open heart surgery. So I had gone through a year of that whole thing. And that was so stressful that when I found out about the cancer, I was kind of like, this is awful, but at least it's not her and it's me. So if I can get through my kid going through such a horrible thing, I can get through this. So once I came to the other side, I was like, there's a lot of mantras and things I listened to when I was going through the process. And one resonates was, there's two actually. And it was make peace with uncertainty, because life is not, it's always up and down. So we're all battling something, and so I just learned to just give in to the process, and then enjoy the mundane. And I could literally if you're I was thinking, if I was dying, what would I wish? That I worked more hours and I was some, big time name in a company? No, it would be just hanging out with the kids and you're having dinner with your family. Those are the important things. And I know that sounds cheesy, but that's the stuff that you're going to wish that you had more time doing. And then just to segue into the giving aspect, so many people were so kind. I didn't know anyone here. The whole neighborhood brought me food. They made things for me. They drove my kids during radiation to and from school. I mean, the community was amazing. And so it just makes you want to give back. And now I hope to give back to any woman that's newly diagnosed. And the community cancer center where I went to, they helped me so much. So I was like, let me help you. And now I'm just anytime someone gets diagnosed, I'm like, give them my number.
Yeah.
Because it's a process. But
Yes.
I'm just so appreciative to be on the other side. And I'm so appreciative of my time with the kids. And, nothing's for sure. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is really true that giving back doesn't just come in the form of giving to a nonprofit or, spending time at a nonprofit somewhere. Giving really is giving your time and love to the women around you, to the people around you in general. But you are truly a giver in that way, where you support not only the women in our community, but even the kids at school. And when there's ever anything anyone needs, you raise your hand. And, that is such a beautiful way to change the community around us. And so I feel blessed to know you in that aspect of your life as well. And then back to, making peace with the uncertainty. I can appreciate that, after Sophia got sick, and that was that pivotal point in my life, really nothing material mattered after that. And it was a switch to just trying to make a difference in the world around me and being with my kids. And I would have traded places with my daughter in a second.
Yeah.
So I really kind of grounded myself after that experience. And those kind of really hard parts of life really do ground us.
Well, you made your message. You took, I know your story because you took that experience and then you kind of evolved to who you are and all your giving and everything. And that's just so inspiring, that we were talking about leaving the hospital and leaving those people there that were still going through a lot. And it's an ongoing thing with your daughter, and you're taking that and then you're giving and helping other people. And that's kind of the thing. You can take something like that and feel sorry for yourself,
Mhm.
or you can be like, what can I do with this information or this experience? And how can I help someone? Because that's all that you wanted in the beginning is
Mhm.
like, you're just kind of lost, So it makes me feel good. It's like, I'm not good at a lot, but
I disagree. I disagree.
I can help someone, and that's
Yes.
helping someone that's something. And you're recognizing that, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that with our listeners.
Yeah.
Sometimes society often undervalues the stay-at-home mom. What changes do you think need to happen to bring more recognition to this role?
Well, first of all, don't ask a stay-at-home mom, what do you do all day?
Do not do
Because
that.
I've had that. And yes, of course, I could eat bonbons and watch Days of Our Lives,
Right.
and then nothing gets done.
Right.
But I think just, there's been a few times you fill out the form and it's like occupation or whatever, or I'll say, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and someone would say, oh my gosh, toughest job, I miss those days, and thank you for doing this and all that. So just to appreciate or give a shout out to your fellow stay-at-home mom, or even if you're not staying at home, to moms, dads, anyone who's taking care of someone, that's like a super important role. So I think that also we're kind of having a paradigm shift with like what's going on in the world. There's a lot more people working from home. I know we have friends that are like, and you included, that are running businesses from home. And there's like we need more work-life flexibility. And so that was one of the reasons why I had to leave my career, is that you had to be in the office and you had to be there every day. So I think when I figure out what I want to be when I grow up, I will find something that can balance the two, So I think just recognizing that moms play a pivotal role in society, and dads, and the whole nuclear family.
Yes.
I think you see such a difference when a kid maybe only has one parent, it's hard. So we have to, if you want to change, to me, like communities, it's the schools, it's the family, it's like the nucleus that we have to get back to. And so it's my little small contribution, is trying to raise good humans.
Yes. And that's a huge contribution, I mean, because we all need to be doing our part, because they truly are the next generation of change makers in our world. And so we really need to focus on how important that role is in being present with our kids, and knowing where they are, and knowing what they're doing, and knowing who they're with. And, that's important even more now that my kids are teenagers. But when they were young, I would write down all the things that I did that day, just as a reminder to myself that I was really pivotal to my family. Because it was hard to see the value in what I was doing, because I wasn't around anyone all day. I just had my children there, who were beautiful and loving, but half the time, I mean, they were going to the bathroom or needed a snack, or I mean, there really wasn't much,
they're not saying, great job, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's discuss,
you're so valuable.
Your pay raise today. No, it's like,
where are you going? What are your goals in life,
Drive
Mom?
me here. Do this. Yeah.
Yes. And so I would that's a little tidbit that I did when the kids were little, is just write down and remind yourselves, all the moms out there, all the things that you're doing, in your home and with your kids. And then you won't feel undervalued ever.
No.
Ever
And
again.
like, also, well, at least when I lived in San Francisco, I signed up for the Golden Gate Moms group, and we would do like walking groups and like, just get together and being around other moms, because nobody appreciates you as much as a fellow mom.
Yes.
So I like that you wrote that down, or just like getting validation through other moms, because I feel like, the husband sometimes doesn't see what you do, and like they don't know, and maybe we don't know what they're doing. Although I tell my husband I worked in corporate America, and let me tell you, I had coffee breaks and I was traveling, and I was like that's one thing I can relate to. But he's home a lot, so he helps. But like I think that you're right. You have to find ways to validate, I guess. And then at some point I'm like, I don't care what anyone thinks.
That's right.
I know I'm doing the best I can.
That's right.
Yeah.
And surrounding yourself with other moms who are giving you that grace, are not judgmental, who realize your kids are going to make mistakes. I mean, I love that. with the group that we hang out with now because we have teenagers and they're making bigger mistakes than they were when they were young. And so, you know, the moms are always saying, you know, how can I help? How can I support? It's going to be okay. They're good kids. Like, you know, you need that foundation of love from other women in your life, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or a working mom.
Yeah.
But, you know, especially when you're a stay-at-home mom and you're not going to a job where people are telling you, good job.
Pretty sure I have your number on speed dial.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What do you think some of the misconceptions are about stay-at-home moms?
Well, again, it's like that you're not doing anything, or like just that your time is like you just have all this time in the world.
Right.
And I think I thought that too. I think I was like leaving the corporate world and being like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to bake some cookies. We're going to make homemade baby food.
Yeah.
I think that lasted maybe a week. I don't even know if I think I made a few jars of homemade baby food. And then I was like, okay, you know, like this is hard. So there's that. And also that, like, so my son, you know, as he got older, he was like, I think he thought I never went to college or I didn't know anything, you know, so that was hard too, like proving to my kids that, you know, I am smart, I'm educated, I had a job. So stay-at-home moms, they're really smart.
Yes.
And they had prior lives. I mean, one thing for me is like, I didn't get married till I was 34. So I kind of lived like a lot, like traveled. I lived in Europe. I graduated, you know, with 2 majors, you know, like I'm trying to prove myself, but like sometimes I feel like I am trying to prove myself to the people that didn't know me before I was a mom. So I think it's a choice to stay at home and it's a choice to be a mom, but it doesn't make you any less of a citizen than someone who's like running an empire, you know, because you're running your own empire.
That's right.
And this one's a little more important, I think.
I agree. And I have many times reintroduced myself to my children.
Yeah.
And they're always shocked. But I think it's important that we do share who we were before and why we decided to be home with them and why it was our choice and that we don't regret that choice ever. I mean, that doesn't mean that some days I wish I could go to the office, wherever that is. So,
I want an office. I want my like Starbucks.
Yes. Maybe an assistant. Hey, travel lovers, it's Melissa. Traveling with my family to explore new cultures brings me so much joy. And all business class travel can make it even better with their top-notch personalized service. Use promo code SAVVY, that's SAVVY, to get complimentary Black Car Airport transfers. All business class travel makes it easy to focus on what really matters, cherished memories. Visit allbusinessclass.com and start planning your next incredible journey. How important do you think the village of moms around you is to your everyday
It's very
sanity?
important. Yes, very important. And I think that you just can't do it alone. You know, you can try, but I think the more I engaged in outside groups and friends and that support system, you know, they say it takes a village, cliche, but it really does. So, you know, through my cancer treatment, through my daughter's hospital stay, through any kind of tough time, you know, we have aging parents. There's so many things that you need help with. Your husband, you're like, there's just a lot. And so I don't know what I would do without my support system. And also everyone, you know, I surround myself with strong, amazing, powerful women. And I don't know if I like sought people out, but that's like something that just attracted me, I guess. And I'm so thankful for it because not only like mentally are they stimulating, you know, but emotionally, like you included, help. And I want to help you and I want to help anyone else because you just can't do it all. Yeah, even just like picking up my kids after school, you know, and just the little things, it makes such a difference.
Yeah. And knowing you can count on, like, I know I can always count on Julianna, and finding women you know you can always count on, that you can go to and be completely vulnerable, ask for help, ask them to help you. Like it's so, so important in all aspects of life. But I think that that's the ultimate gift you can give the women in your life, and surround yourself by strong, independent, loving, working and stay-at-home moms, because they will truly, truly become your foundation. And your kids will see these women in your life as well. I think setting an example is super important. Like you set an example all the time for my kids, and I hope that I set a good example for your kids.
You do.
As well. Well, thank you. Hey friends, it's Melissa. I want to talk to you about something that has been life-changing for me, therapy. I've personally used therapy, and I can tell you firsthand how powerful it is to have someone in your corner guiding you through life's challenges. That's why I'm proud that today's sponsor is BetterHelp, an online therapy service that makes it easy to get the help you or your family needs from the comfort of your own home. Whether you're struggling with stress, anxiety, or just need someone to talk to, BetterHelp is here for you. And for listeners of the Savvy Giving Gal podcast, you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy when you use our link in the description. Take that step towards a healthier you, because you're worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/savvy to get started today. As this episode comes to an end, I want to ask you these 3 questions that I ask all my guests. So first, what does it mean to you to be a community change maker?
Well, it could mean many things for many different people, but for me right now, I am raising future human community change makers. So I'm trying to lead by example and be a good mentor to the kids. And, I take them to your events. I have them help with my mom as an aging parent, just any way you can help someone, like whether or not it's in the community or in your family, having compassion and knowing that they are going to grow up and they are our future. And so I think when we invest in our kids and show them how to be good, caring citizens, it helps because, there's a lot going on in the world.
Yes.
And I think that knowing that this is my contribution, trying to raise kids that will eventually be the decision makers of our future, so that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's such a gift to the world to be teaching the kids empathy and to looking outside themselves to helping others around them is a great gift. How do you envision the ripple effect of kindness manifesting within your family and outside of your family with your kids?
Well, it's like the one small act kind of thing, or like if you think of visually like the pebble that keeps going, it's the littlest things make the biggest difference. So I know there's smiling at people, holding open doors, stuff like that. But one cool thing I remember someone did was pay for my toll on the Bay Bridge, and they just drove off and I was like, what? It made my whole day. I was so happy. And I was like, there's good people in this world.
Yeah.
And so I did it to someone else. And it's like what you say, it feels so good to help people. Yes. So if everyone did one small act of kindness a day, it could change someone's life. You could call an old friend who's you don't know, who's depressed or going through something and cheer them up. There's just so many ways you can do it. So I think it makes a huge impact.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And speaking of, can you suggest one small act of kindness that our listeners can incorporate in their daily lives?
Okay. Well, besides paying for the toll, I was thinking about this and I'm just going to go with share some of your skin products and hair products and recipes that you can make at home and all those things. Cause of course we know kindness, right? You show it to us and I try to show my kids and all that stuff and holding open doors and smiling and please and thank you. But I find one nice thing with our community and our group of women is sharing ideas, whether it's business wise, a new recipe.
Mhm.
Like, girl, you look good.
Yeah.
What's that make?
Yeah.
You know, because you have to also try to feel good about yourself too. So it's
Yes.
nice as a village that we kind of like bring each other up.
Yes.
So it's just like empowering women, and you can do that with just a compliment too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And I want to speak to that for a second
Yeah.
because I really want to encourage moms who stay home to take care of themselves.
Mhm.
You know, it's very easy to get lost in taking care of everyone else in your home. And kudos to you for doing that. But I think it's equally important that we take time to take care of ourselves and not feel guilty about doing
Right.
that because we aren't bringing in a paycheck. And
Mhm.
I do love that about the women that we surround ourselves with, that if something makes them feel good, that they want to share it and then they
Yeah.
want you to feel good. And it can be as simple as a new skincare product
Yeah.
or, you know, a new opportunity to make something that's healthy for their families. And
Yeah.
I love sharing all those passions aside from, you know, giving back to the world and
Right.
teaching your kids
Yeah.
and looking outward. Sometimes you really, the
Yeah.
greatest gift is to look inward and to
Yeah.
really be your full true self.
Yeah, because you can better serve your family and everyone when you feel good and refreshed. And I meant to say,
Mhm.
take a girls' trip every now and
Oh,
then.
yeah, I like that one too.
Even if it's for the day, you know, because you come back
Yes.
and your family appreciates you and like,
Yes.
and you can do more.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of also mother guilt, I call
Yeah.
it. And I'd love for women who are staying at home to not have so much of that. You know, I
Mhm.
think I felt guilty about so many things when the kids were little. Well, I can't go on that girls' trip because I really need to be home for my kids. Or,
Yeah.
you know, my kids weren't behaving and it's my fault because I'm the one who is there with
Mhm.
them all the time. And I think we need to give ourselves a little
Yeah.
more grace and
Yeah.
take that girls' trip and know you love your kids
Yes.
so much. Like going on that trip does not take away from the
No.
unconditional love.
And they
that-
will appreciate you more.
Oh, they
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
they definitely will. And your husband probably will.
Oh,
as
yes. Because
well.
nothing will get done.
Yeah.
Right? My boss once said, if you want to feel appreciated, take a vacation.
Yes.
And I was like, what? And so, yeah, I feel like when I come back, they're like, oh, we're so happy to see you, you know?
Yes.
So, yes. But yeah, in all, it's like self-care. It's part of the self-care.
And that's for working moms and stay-at-home moms. Any woman, I think in general, needs to have a part of their life where they do focus on self-care.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
super, super important. So this episode has meant the world to me, Juliana, and I just want to leave the listeners with some tips. So first, celebrate the small wins, whether it's a perfectly packed lunch or a heartfelt conversation with your kids. Recognize and celebrate the little victories. They're the foundation of our fulfilling days. Second, ask for help. Remember, as Juliana said, it takes a village. Don't hesitate to lean on friends, family, or your community. Accepting help strengthens bonds and, you know, ensures you're carrying the load, like not just yourself. And third, make time for yourself. Even a 10-minute walk, journaling session, cup of tea, skincare product can change your energy. Prioritizing yourself is a key to showing up fully for others and your kids. And last, involve your kids in acts of kindness, whether it's donating toys, writing a note to an elderly friend, or volunteering together. Showing your kids the joy of giving instills values that will last a lifetime. Find simple ways to help your community. Start small. Drop off a canned good. Help a friend who's sick. Join a neighborhood cleanup. Small gestures make a big impact. So thank you so much, Juliana, for being here today.
This was such a pleasure.
It was so
I
great.
love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know an inspiring stay-at-home mom? If there's a stay-at-home mom in your life who amazes you with her strength, love, and dedication, I want to hear her story. Whether she's nurturing her family, building her community, or simply inspiring others with her everyday courage, her story deserves to shine. Head over to my website at www.savvygivinggal.com and share her details through a quick and easy form. Together, we can celebrate her incredible journey and uncover the wisdom and impact she brings to the world. I can't wait to hear the incredible women in your lives and feature their stories for others to learn from and admire. Let's give these extraordinary moms the recognition they truly deserve. Visit the website, spread the word, and help us shine a spotlight where it truly belongs.
Coming to fill up my cup.
Thank you for listening to the show. I hope it sparks a desire in you to dedicate even a small slice of your life to uplifting others. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow me on Instagram at SavvyGivingGal. You can also visit my website at SavvyGivingGal.com. Let's spread positivity together.